If you're wondering what your home's worth now in the City of Concord, whether you're thinking about selling or you're just worried about the value of your assets, this is probably a great video for you. Now, one of the things we know, it's difficult to really kind of get local information to help you make decisions regarding your real estate. And that's one of the reasons we created these videos, just to focus in on the City of Concord. Now, if you have specific questions, look around the screen. You can see my number. Love the opportunity to talk with you. Give me a call, answer any of your questions. So in this section of the video, I'm going to talk about the real estate market and how it affects the value of your home. Let's go ahead and pop this first slide up here. Now, we're looking at the average monthly price of homes in the City of Concord. Now, one of the things that you're seeing is there's definitely a fluctuation, and you see periods of time where it's higher than others. One of the things we'll see, and we're approaching that right now, is the peak selling season, which typically runs from about end of April till beginning of June. Now, within that time period, that's when we got the most demand for homes. Prices tend to be the highest, and that's when we're looking at buyers to actually, sellers to really kind of get their homes on the market, because that's when the best prices are in the market. So as the market moves up and down, you're actually going to see the price of your home moving up and down. And if you notice, over year over year, prices are slightly different. One of the things you'll see is that trend typically exists year over year. It's slightly different. And if you look at 2022, you will see it where it's pronounced. Now, one of the things to do is really look at the green bar, which is January and February. Some things we see there is prices are going up. So it looks like the market is really positioning us for a great peak selling season. Now, here's the thing we got to consider. We're seeing the markets trending up. The other thing we do, if we look at some of the other data in the market, some of the predictive data, is, for instance, interest rates. We see interest rates have been trending down. This week, interest rates fell below 6%. So the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage actually fell below 6%. That's the lowest we've seen since before September 2022. So that's a great sign for the market. One thing that happens, guys, is when we've got lower interest rates, we've got more buyers in the market. More buyers create more demand for homes and drive prices up. More demand, more competition for home, and drive prices up. Now, on the other end, some of the things we're seeing, if we look at inventory in January. Now, inventory is the number of homes that's listed for sale out there. We saw that the inventory was almost 4 months, and that's the highest January we've seen even before 2018. So high inventory, what it does is it tends to reduce competition for homes. It gives buyers more options and consequently brings prices down. The other thing that we're seeing with this high inventory in January, we're seeing in February the number of homes that are selling is down significantly. So we've got high inventory, number of homes selling down. That tends to really kind of bring prices down. So we've got these two elements working against each other. So we've got to watch what the market's doing. We're probably going to see a fairly decent peak season. But if these elements continue, if we continue to see high inventory, a high number of homes out there listed for sale, we're going to see prices come down, because what that means is buyers, there are a lot of options out there. There's less competition. It's easier to buy a home, and interest rates are down. Now, guys, on the other end of it, as I said earlier, those lower interest rates tend to bring buyers into the market, and those buyers tend to eat up the inventory and drive prices up. So we're going to have to see how things go. But if you're looking at the value of your home right now, you're paying attention to what the market's doing. And you're looking at the trends in the market, because those trends are telling you what direction the price of your home is going in. So this video is really figuring out what the value of your home is. There's a couple ways we can look at it. You know, when we start talking insurance companies, they look at replacement cost or what it'll cost to rebuild your home right now. If we start talking commercial buildings, they look at the income that you earn from that building, and that's how they figure out the value of your home. Now, when we start talking residential property, we look at comps. So you probably have a term you've heard before in mention selling your home, realtors and so forth. Comps are comparable sales. Those are homes that are like yours, that are typically within 1 mile or within your neighborhood. Now, we want to probably stay within your neighborhood because a mile radius in the city is pretty dramatic, and homes can change rapidly, or neighborhoods can change rapidly over that period, and prices can change rapidly. So consequently, we want to do our best to really kind of stay in your neighborhood. So if you're in the Turtle Creek neighborhood, we want to look at homes like yours in that Turtle Creek neighborhood. Now, also, we want to look at homes that sold within the last 6 months. If you remember that slide I had up here, home values could change pretty rapidly within 6 months. So we want to try to get it within that 6 months, but as close to the current time as possible. If yours is such a unique house, sometimes we have to stretch out a year or two to find homes that actually sold like yours. And we're really drilling down to figure out what the comparable sales is, what that comp that's like yours. So if you're at 1313 Mockingbird Lane in Turtle Creek and you're a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square foot home with a pool, we're going to be looking for homes really similar to yours to kind of come up with what the value of your home is. Now, there's a couple ways to do that now with all the technology out there now. Probably one of the easiest things to do is just to open up the AI bots and type in what is the value of my home at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Concord, and it's going to spit out a number. It'll give you several different organizations that produce numbers, Zillow, Redfin, so forth. It's going to give you all that, maybe give you some comps and so forth, and it'll probably drill down to an estimate and go, your home's worth somewhere between here. And you know, it's got to give you a range because it's not looking at the condition of your home and so forth on the inside. Now, the other thing to do is you can simply go in there and type in, give me 3 comparable sales to my home that sold in the last 6 months within a mile of my home or within the Turtle Creek neighborhood. And that'll spit out some comps, and it starts giving you an idea what your home's worth. Look at the picture, compare pictures of the home. You'll be able to go out to Realtor.com, see pictures where these homes sold and compare it to your home, and that's how you kind of start getting down to really what your home's worth. Now, a quick and easy way to kind of figure out and keep track of your home, if you look around the screen, we've got our seller site up there. Actually, just go out there and we'll keep you updated on what the home's worth. So in many cases, when we're asking what is our home worth, we're really asking what will our home sell for. Can be 2 very different numbers, and in most cases are 2 very different numbers. Now, one of the things that comps will tell you is the trend that's moving in. I'll give you an idea of whether your home is going to be selling below what that comparable sale says or above it. Remember, that comparable sale is the no number, and we're actually, if you're the seller, you're trying to beat that number. If you're the actual buyer, you're trying to get lower than that number. You're trying to get a great deal. Now, when we're selling a home, you know, again, as I said, that comp, you know, it's probably the least important number. One of the things that I always tell people is to kind of forget the number. Pretend we're the only home that's ever sold. And if you were the only home, you were the first home to ever be sold, how would you do it? Well, we'd get as many people as we can to come see the home. We'd get them to make offers on the home. We'd price it so it encouraged them to make offers on it. And we'd get as many offers as we can on it. We get those offers competing against each other, and we'd drive the price up and get the maximum price we'd get. And that's basically how we would do it. Now, one of the things we always tell people, guys, is the way to kind of, there's 4 things you got to do to really kind of sell your home and get maximum price. You got to make sure it looks great. You know, if we were the first home to ever be sold, we'd want to make sure it looks great. We want to create a place that people want to be. They want to come there and they want to be there. They want to live there, okay? we're going to attract as many people as we can to that home. We're going to create demand for that home, okay? So we're going to bring people in, and as many people, getting them compete for the home and so forth, that's going to drive prices up. We're going to make it easy for that home to be seen, okay? So people can come in and see it. Again, guys, if we're the first home ever being sold, we want to get the maximum price. These are things we'd be doing, The other thing is we'd give people time. We'd leave the home on the market long enough that people would be able to come see it. You know, one of the biggest things I hear a lot of times, somebody brags, I sold my home in 3 days. Well, it's not really a flex. It's not really a brag, guys, because you may not have gotten the best offer for it. So we want to make sure it's sitting on the market long enough so that people would come see it. We also want to look at offers on one particular day where the offers are, we can compare them side by side. But one of the most important things, guys, when we're looking at really kind of getting maximum demand, getting competition for the home, we've got to price strategically to really kind of get competition for the home. Now, there's a lot of things out there that really kind of drive prices. And these are the, number one, location. Location is important. So if you're in Lafayette, you're probably going to sell a little bit more than a home in Pittsburgh. Location's number one. The market condition moves up and down, and that affects the pricing. The other thing that happens is the condition of the home is important. The square footage of the home is important. The features of the home. Does it have a swim pool? If you have a swim pool in City of Walnut Creek, it tends to sell for about $130,000 more than a home that doesn't. So these are things we got to consider. Now, we consider those elements of the home, but it's also, despite the elements of the home and so forth, we got to create demand for the home to really kind of drive that price up and things, okay? Now, guys, as I said earlier, if you got questions about this, look around the screen. You're going to see a number. Reach out to us. Love the opportunity to talk with you. Take good care of yourself and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye now.